Okay. Earth's average annual temperature has increased by about zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius over the last century. This warming is primarily the result of the buildup of minor gases in the atmosphere. Okay, there's our conclusion. Blocking the outward flow of heat from the planet. Okay, there's our reasoning, our primary support. So that's immediately what I locate: the conclusion, the heart of the argument, and the primary support. And of course, we're going to be addressing the gap between these two things. Um, so now we'll look at the question type. Which one of the following, if true, would count as evidence against the scientist's explanation of Earth's warming? Okay, so this is just a classic weakening question. So we can anticipate a little bit, and that is exactly what we should do. And I kind of emphasize that word primarily because that immediately makes me think that maybe these this buildup of minor gases was a cause, but maybe it wasn't the primary cause. Maybe A did contribute to B, but actually C was the primary cause, a classic causal fallacy. So that's one place my head immediately goes in terms of anticipation. Another thing is, another way to weaken it would be like, well, maybe there was a buildup of minor gases, but it could not have. This buildup of minor gases doesn't actually cause an increase in temperature, the warming. Or there actually wasn't a buildup of minor gases that could have caused. So like this is just where my head is going, but now we'll go down the list of the answer choices and see what they give us. So A, only some of the minor gases whose presence in the atmosphere allegedly resulted in the phenomenon described by the scientists were produced by industrial pollution. Okay, that's a lot of words, but that has nothing, that's completely irrelevant. Industrial pollution, it's telling us only some of the gases were produced by, like, we're only addressing the issue of did the minor gases cause this increase in temperature, not whether some of it was produced by industrial pollution. Definitely not true. But a lot of words, so that could, sift through that quickly. That they want you to get caught up in that hubbub. Okay, most of the warming occurred before 1940. Okay, the warming, our conclusion, concurred. The effect occurred before 1940, while most of the buildup of the minor gases in the atmosphere occurred after 1940. Okay, so most of our cause occurred after most of our effect. That definitely seems to weaken our argument that the cause was that the minor gases was the primary cause of this warming effect. Okay, yeah, that definitely weakens. That's definitely our answer. But let's just double check quickly to the other answer choices. Make sure nothing else seems viable. Okay, over the last century, Earth received slightly more radiation in certain years than it did in others. Okay, that's the C. That's my initial anticipation. C caused B, but slightly more solar radiation in certain years. That's not really saying much of anything. Nothing of substance. So that definitely doesn't usurp our primary cause of minor gases like B does. Nowhere close. Okay, volcanic dust and other particles in the atmosphere reflect much of the sun's radiation back into space before it can reach Earth's surface. That doesn't really get at our cause and effect at all. So it's just telling us this fact that, temperature increased because minor gases increased. This is just a fact. It says nothing about anything increasing or decreasing, or it doesn't invalidate the minor gas. It's tough to analyze the answer, like wrong answer choices, because they're wrong. There's no substance there. So I hope that should be pretty obvious how that is irrelevant to the argument. And then lastly, the accumulation of minor gases in the atmosphere has been greater over the last century than any other time in Earth's history. So this one is relevant, but it actually strengthens, if anything, our argument. Okay, there's been more minor gases, so yeah, that seems to support. And of course, we're looking for the weakened, so of course the answer is B.